because when him say World Cup what Argentina for instance, if you say oh yes single from Argentina, of course when him say Egypt me Facebook post back me comment you be me can say ma I say Egypt coach na ya fan wedi for his mistakes because he nyina dey adwen cause goal no almost share but I mean goal clearly there was a foul before the goal.
Exactly.
And yeah, but in terms of fairness, almost at the very moment it looks like we are protecting the big teams. Now I quite hear the small ones.
No, but you see, you have to do it well. Send if FIFA, you know. You have to do it well. Say Argentina. You watch every situation critically, and it seems the right decision. Send you okay. Each go no question you could see a clear stamp on Martinez. Oshe Nancy Imbolo record here with the second yellow now. You could see a clear case of stimulation. And see the protection now make one seminal and you say ube dear will be. But we are talking about then a FIFA a drawn in that way.
Regional.
You get it.
Some more and then it seems UEFA is even doing because UEFA some more drawer for a knockout face now. Only gray and he said
exactly.
This is a final.
You get it. I'm not talking about officiating. No. I am talking about even the fixture drawing, the potential meetings, and how you calculate it.
Hi, yes, I'm the BKB show, and of course, no. As they say, World Cup, you know, yeah, sir. But yeah, conversations about the World Cup, because campaign na baby, you know, Ghana Black Stars, your boy Homodin free group, your boy Homodin, the round of 32. Unfortunately, and Timmy and free honor, I'm progressing. You generally how Africa fared at the World Cup because out of 10 teams in Africa, only one. And then team are making it past the group stage. Of course, the dominance of the Europeans and the South Americans and one at the Biano. Ayana World Cup no. Into this time, I share Ghana Black Stars and the some Africa. Said the money no. Near share the Black Stars coach, Carlos Queiroz. In fact, the statement on social media, it's about no resignation. A show of appreciation. Even say more like a statement of appreciation. Say or that Ghana or that fans nasi. It's in a statement of the Bible after the World Cup. Yet it is a FNA come about a possible renewal of contract and extension of contract. No one says similar. Nina no ye baby room. But you made World Cup on Koma. You hear Obi a World Cup no Obi. Ya in your Bismagozu Bempa Ayala no World Cup or World Cup maybe. I was there too. It's your baby chicken come on anyway. How Ghana? Your team, no, after the World Cup, then you beat me here. I'm a team legend, so say no team, no. Generally, when you say a lot of commentaries now, also will be a Canadian. I can't take it in one so because you say and also a key part of the entire World Cup, no. Because you certain investigation into how Ghana you take it in one some core because you say on Mampany can or London. Say yen to me so any pan World Cup name tickets sir. Your Thomas uncle for no. You remember Ghana for more money, no more team that go games no. And no say na honsem sikoi. Ene dodo na e ba beka eye honsem e wojumadi so. We need the bright can come bodu. Bismarck ozu bempa Ayala. Ene ya na twongo. Ayala. Akwaba. Say we boga, is it wakwaba nti. Oh. Akwaba.
Hey, aso.
I mean generally World Cup experience not to saying.
I think that main fan compare a lot of World Cups may compare it to Qatar and Islam.
Yeah.
The amount way a different the way America for Omwanga Sankasa Brabonetier no or they compare Qatar then which is a vast difference. For a typical Ghanaian, say opese umano a vivid experience how America sit here any day we are World Cup in the city o bonnet offer. And young one say America for no a pure capitalist for.
Yeah.
Your first impression is say BBI commercial.
Yeah.
BBI di pesca.
Yeah.
Adie bi wo kronim bia ye di pesca. Nti o first experience a obenya odo phone e recronym wo Ghana ha ne de bia ofa phone na uko Facebook uko YouTube uko TikTok uko bebia nti you live virtually on your phone ura America enyoma o tied of phone ye bia no you want to do it ewo ho but one thing you realize they say every app bia bia no watch 5 minutes there's a commercial watch cry 5 minutes there's a commercial playing on the app and yes I Ghana Uber sorry no power back for phone about TikTok no there's a dating site advert say o abako man say o person link here pa ye betime say o you obi a omumu say o type football content they are giving you betting sites any apps are tips and they are purely commercial people me call on me mind so I will listen to Ghanaian radio typically say me wo Ghana na me tie tuning na I just open tuning na ma pe BBC ana any na metie me be a tuning in America bare 3 minutes na me nyan do page na me book which station I want to listen adverts and that is the first thing that meets you everything about the country is commercialized ye piska and I think that is the reason why almost say a land of opportunities no a chair say oba kronum na a business na ba so be ya ahano bibi adu nsa be kumbia wo ye ne nkwade a wo benye sika de afrem apart from that the few services bit say and I was so amazed doing Ghana games no say all travel na wo games na akabe 1 hour to baby a stadium ne wono if you around the nina you see omwankasa man-made billboards o my ye ebi okwa family na nkasa enkra wo fie ho empanyimfo wo fie ho ma me ne papa ni nyina ekuta small placards e dey no more advertise for parking space
parking open baby a park here
nti a typical example so wo Kumasi a also wo ko baba sports stadium the moment I will book careful no e children's park no afi the whole headed towards the stadium no if you be a walk from children's park and come walk of vanyo akopum stadium ho nyina no omunim say oye wa yo so do ka na ben stadium ho a nipa ho ne crowd no say wo tu aba traffic insensitivity bia person park ho nyina o mo to o parking space if you na o nyina $60 more na o ben stadium no more na ne bo na ekosoro. And that's experience me who be that because Kumasi the whole stadium baby oh tell me can't see am so okay yanton but there is no way I go slow be keke now do I realize say one big lesson you betimi afa free the American normal general lifestyle na is how commercialized or thinking they are selling everything and say oh ye bibia potentially you make money. Potentially you make money. Now, say, oh yeah, why you so behind World Cup in the US? Now they to Fox. Every advert beer around this time are made by players and people who are connected to football. And see, on normal advert, I will share ABR, or share you deliver adverts, or Gehawk, or normally influencers be and now models be. And I am model products. During this World Cup season, they've changed all their adverts to football-related personalities because they know say that is the mood of the nation's time. And to say a car or more advertising, a player be and ex-player be and our favorite sports journalist be and a advert, to make you realize and for her TV at this time purposely because most of them want to have a feel of the World Cup, and I love the way they think. I really appreciate Sadi and the power from them. And one is your friend to your home. Can World Cup here or can't bet models we say this time no go for TV no. Sports for India. Use the sports personalities. No money advertisement players no money advertisement because by this time there majority of the people that watch TV even a Marco Mumpebo crowd these times they've watched TV because of the World Cup. Or their husbands their boyfriends are watching, they watch along with them. And even the female products in the crowd now, advert around the World Cup, how they players and I say anybody related to football, it sends the message easily. People are easily able to relate it. May I sure say, be or close to football, this time in and around US, the Chamo they really cash out.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
And I now understood why before the World Cup, Gianni Infantino, Donald Trump, and all the US executives, were boasting about the kind of Sika World Cup with the US economy.
Yeah.
And I've testified to it. They are really going to make those monies.
And the next money here, you can say, when is it before this World Cup? So now US 94 holding the record as a World Cup with the best attendance in terms of numbers. Because US, also because of games on open. NFL, baseball, basketball. Baby, I'm going to be any public. It's almost stadiums, so 60,000, 70,000, 80,000. And then massive. Me sure say me them say be support it. US hosting the World Cup again in 2038.
Oh yes.
I'm
deserve it. I think say so beyond reasonable doubt say the capacity to host these things.
Yeah.
And incredible the way a chrono ankasa eji ade no tum no mo much. Then if a dear pana ode you also boss say enye fit to host the World Cup.
Yeah.
Apart from ABA international politics, I will be out may have a stance in Iran, Iraq, and Tokan. So we no free more. In terms of say as a country with the capacity to host the World Cup there. Be anywhere with me, I can say US for an MT. The only thing is say, a free or here my musano.
Yeah.
If you travel to watch the World Cup, it's very expensive.
Very, very expensive.
Because we'll see this kakran and was $1
Exactly.
And you all travel between the cities to go and watch. And all her ticket prices now converted by cities now. Apart from Saudi and Emma African no untimi Philly World Cup because of the money that you are spending in there. Set US as a mind. And then the capacity to hold the World Cup, undoubtedly, just say, World Cup, one of the biggest fears was security.
Yeah.
And so, America, the more attention be and from 94 basis, they've created more enemies. Until boy, bombing, train station, bus station, airport, you'll be hijack. There seems to be alert. And they've protected the World Cup in a very, very nice way. And see, they forced one of the best World Cup. And you say, Gianni Infantino will come and say, Southeast Africa, and you're rhetoric, one could be. Obia to experience it. America has hosted one of the best.
Well, I'm saying, I'm kind report to be almost say, Sky, US, and now, even after the group phase, such a World Cup, Sky, after the General World Cup. So you can just imagine it because even the final of the World Cup, tickets are going for $12,000-$15,000.
US. And then I'll catch him and say, "Sisi and the tickets, a bonny Diana air."
Yeah.
And I'm going the World Cup has been very, very exciting. And you see, there's one thing probably, CAF, various member associations, Africa, or more organizing football, you say GFMO, will have to learn. Look, I told you, and yet, say, we get too much concern about the conspiracy theories, but you have to plan everything to suit the commercial of the game.
Yeah.
For instance, Nancy, I mean, so one BBC story, so, the way we draw, they made it possible, say, the best ranked countries, are not going to meet each other unless the latter days of
semi-final or final.
Would you say things over here, sir? They did it because of the commercial way, Because and now we can say there are 4 countries now can World Cup. Chamo, in terms of commercialization, they are the best.
Yeah.
They have the best players, or more the history, or more crowd. They make me have best support you, or more. Yeah. Even or more free money, or more followers of football across every continent who want to watch these teams.
Yeah.
Ghana, you want to watch France.
Yeah.
You want to watch Lamine Yamal in Spain. Yeah. Everybody want to watch Argentina and Lionel Messi.
Yeah.
Obia person share these teams. Say, even though a calculated attempt by FIFA to make sure say the best football countries will go far in the tournament. It makes commercial sense. Exactly. It makes marketing sense. Because at the end of the day, Sika Mutiama member association Sika FIFA to a good football money at the it is coming from their sponsors. And say even if the sponsors are reading from the various websites in the media houses, so FIFA tailored the World Cup to favor the most commercialized and I say the most marketing countries now, they will say, oh, okay, then this is the reason why we have to associate ourselves with FIFA more. Because the more that you associate your mono, the mileage we want to get, the intentionality say, you ever say, be at the crowd, the back events, no be and no man say if it is true, say they made these things and out then so be it. Now we are talking about the best 4 countries in the world in terms of the FIFA ranking appearing in the last 4 of the World Cup. You can't get a better World Cup than that. You can't get a better World Cup than that. Now they say 4 teams say okay. Obi team share uncle. Yes. And clear say open team say betimi a share the other. Omo no mechi.
Omo na betimi a share omo.
Omo no betimi a share omo. That is the excitement of football. Nti yemfa bibim film. Who organize community gala, who organize Ghana Football Association, Premier League, who organize FA Cup, make sure the most commercialized communities, teams are protected and they will go far in the competition. Forget about conspiracy theories and Tonabia, Metis Ghanaian media in FA Cup na bono. I say Yana Kotokoni as a Koshafan. If they will bring the commercial value to the competition, they must be protected for them to go far. Because at the end of the day, you want sponsors to please. You want the attraction of the competition to please.
In defeated fairness. No. Because when you say World Cup, Argentina, for instance, if you say, oh, yes, single from Argentina, of course, when you say Egypt, my Facebook post back, my comment will be, I say, I say, Egypt coach, for his mistakes. Because he didn't the argument because goal no almost shared, but I mean goal clearly. There was a foul before the goal.
Exactly.
And but in terms of fairness, also at the very moment it looks like we are protecting the big teams. Now equate here the small ones.
No, but you see, you have to do it well. Send if FIFA, you know. You have to do it well. Say Argentina. You watch every situation critically, and it seems the right decision. Send you okay. Each go on question you could see a clear stamp on Martinez. Oshe Nancy Imbolo record here with second yellow now. You could see a clear case of stimulation. And see the protection I make one seminal and you say ube dear will be you. But we are talking about then a FIFA a drawn in that way.
Regional.
You get it.
It's a more and then it seems UEFA is even doing because UEFA is only a drawer. For a year knockout face now. Only a grey and he said half on your this is a final.
You get it. I'm not talking about officiating. No. I am talking about even the fixture drawing, the potential meetings, and how you calculate it. We are seeing cold balls and warm balls with Champions League. All those are conspiracy theories, but it may be true. Say they want to script it in a certain way so that the best teams go far, the most commercialized teams will go far. I am not talking about individual officiating. I am talking about planning of these competitions, making sure say the best teams will take a certain path. They will meet at a point where everybody thinks it is time for them to meet. Apart from football, even in boxing. So we had WBC, WBA, anyone. Look at their matchups. Answer na be also 2 world champions this year. Now, except I say this is the right time they must meet. And then it becomes a blockbuster pay-per-view, 100% subscription. Omudi giska. And beyond war fun, no. What passion I want to go is the commercial and the marketing aspect, you know. And this World Cup has really maximized the marketing potential of the World Cup. And Messi'S are the part today. If I'm being called on any event organization, I will bring that expertise on board. And look, we must be very, very careful about that. I also intentional about that. Say even music concerts now, we are make sure the best artists, show them last. Make sure they come when the program IPK. Damn, sponsors in him say this is the right time to advertise. You know, that is why you put the spot on the big artists. You know, no mumbra. They have been intentional, and I think say they've blown it.
Well, for the lovers of athletics, you know, sometimes, now you say Bojan and also, you know, Justin Gatlin and so on. In meets, no, Baguko 100, Baguko 200. Because but say Drew, for instance, the World Athletics Championship.
Yes.
That's when we be because that's when they were more like the World Cup,
of athletics. Yes.
And also Olympic Games. I mean, no. Now, you might share the major controversies at this World Cup. But generally officiating, who want to say? If it's a referee for them, I'm born too physical.
Okay, I think say the best officiating a tournament so far, Nancy, especially since the introduction of VAR. AFCON neighbor Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
That is the standard.
Because I know quite Morino Quacker says
yes.
Africans need VAR use.
That is the standard.
Even Europeans know the buy.
And me say the last AFCON year boy yentimi uphold these standards.
Yeah.
Chamo enya kasa ne epe. But obi are see issues of inconsistencies in officiating VAR decisions near them. The person is right. And there are a lot of examples I'll bet in the Ama. And the Osha World Cup.
Ghana. We had a clean penalty against England.
Yes.
Strangely.
We are two. We are two.
I also against
even in the game Canada against Panama, Ghana now say Kenya penalty.
Kenya penalty. Yes. Jerome there.
Yes. Yanje. And Yanje against England. We've had
VAR.
Look at your goal against Croatia. Yet instead of what Brian Sana, yet me as how to go.
I was wondering.
Yashego.
They're not more.
Yashego. I think almost 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Obi at stadium will be to say, and I see everywhere young queen. Na ye say, I didn't so. Yeah, replay kwa you was screen so watch to be and na referee na me ko check foul will be me ko check offside be so offside be any it takes something away from the game no kwenye.
Yeah.
So we are supporter, you need to be at the stadium to feel what people have been talking about. Say ujina stadium na ya go na enka an normal circumstances in football simultaneously ball ni run net mu ano. That is where we excitement in we adrenaline in go let you go. But this time around you jubilating pan na tete so until say baka say yeah VAR check yeah jet to move and son, and by that time the spontaneous excitement na above from kakranti something must give. But this World Cup, the best in the last AFCON why because which we have seen our tournament this World Cup fall short kakra in terms of the officiating but we can give them credit. At least 7/10 B. They didn't get all the things right, but by far they've passed. Nti aka 4 games we said the aka no metimi aye hu bibina or metimi improve because certain when the stakes are high.
Yeah.
One mistake from the officiating officials cost a lot of and Yoma Bebre within the tournament, and Obia Beka say baby a the scrutiny and all that is at stake we Bompire said they will do the right things, take the right decisions, and the best teams will qualify not because of Obia ye favor Nana Bibia. I think so far ever fun is 7/10 be 8/10.
Cristiano Ronaldo, sadly, when to me and crowning the carrier with a World Cup trophy. But this time again, I need I mean, I always say that Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi are something I great. I mean, I enjoy football. Sure. Their rivalry brought the best out of each other. But quite sadly, Unya World Cup and Vankane Neyo.
I'm saying, Ronaldo's story no chamo. And now it will not make sense, baby. I think maybe 50 years to come. If Obi Edi Hong Koma and then Chirumano will put it in the right perspective. Your superstars they appear within a generation where you're lucky to have other very good teammates. And when Timmy and GBB with the national team, okay, so it makes sense.
Yeah, George Weah,
exactly.
Super
player, but how can you win something with Liberia?
Georgie Hadji,
greater. On free sebi Krobia, a bit me complimenting. But Ronaldo's story is not like that. In fact, our Qatar 2022. Obi Obeba for argument, we argue the person. Portugal had the best squad at the World Cup.
Okay.
In terms of players, every department. no team our Qatar 2022 and a neighbor match Portuguese team no. Fast forward 4 years, Mitimi aka say, o share players bisi say Bernardo Silva na ho den so ate kakra. Defender be say Ruben Diaz.
Yeah.
Na ho den so ate kakra. Now so be to say Renato Vega etimi rem el Portuguese team na it should tell you say oma ho den so ate kakra ntina onya bibo. Ye call 2022 now Rafael Leao enye starter. This time around, we saw him start some very, very crucial games. Excel the standard almost what it. Player B said João Felix in 2022 peak.
Yeah.
Now Atletico and Far Saudi Pro League. Now how they swat kaka. And you could clearly see say 2022 was the peak of that Portuguese team. This time around, Oman didn't swat kaka, but it is still good enough. So when they compare countries, Oman do semi-finals here. Now we want quality. You can't tell me Portugal doesn't have that quality.
Yeah.
But strangely, bono. Chamo, it is not a Ronaldo problem. Bona their patterns are no good.
A coaching problem.
Good play. Look at Vitinha. Any João Neves or Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah.
You put them in a Portuguese team, they are supposed to dominate the midfield. And they have the best number 10 in the Premier League as their number 10.
Yeah.
But creating chances crying. You just don't understand. In football terms, look, people have said, Roberto Martinez, coach, Onyadie, but what about the players themselves?
Yeah.
You are world-class players. Coach, I say 4-2-3-1. Do you need a coach to draw the patterns for you? Sometimes we overblow coaching. In my sense, we overblow coaching because Chamo, Okache me say, my year a defense me what Mendes no about Paris Saint-Germain train about 3. Mama whether Semedo or Dalot, João Cancelo, or right back. Forget about even the centre back. Forget about them. Well, because I'm talking about attacking wise. And then in modern football, all lateral defenders have to attack. In some way, João Cancelo, one of the best attacking right backs. Or Mendes, one of the best attacking left backs. Now, João Neves, or Vitinha, or Bruno Fernandes as number 10. Also, some team can't create attacking patterns and create chances. And Obianim, look, Ota Ronaldo umpenasemo. So create clear cut chances man obeshe. He will score. And problem near Ronaldo. How many clear cut chances na World Cup? Portugal pa create Ronaldo now say was say chance in Tina. Would you believe in the command? Portugal game. You can watch Chamo we bet 60 minutes. Now Portugal created one chance. 60 minutes of these quality players playing at their peak at club level. No more about 60 minutes. No more creating one chance. A team like Portugal. What do you know what I want to say?
They can play 45 minutes without a shot on target.
Look at their bench. Yeah, Omoko competition way. Player be Bernardo Silva was coming from the bench. Conceição, Juventus guy, was coming from the bench. João Felix was coming from the bench. They were play Gonzalo Ramos coming from the bench. Good players. Omo yade for my clubs. But omo nya team no mu kwenra. Omo ti bench o. Omo yeso omo yade mo ni ntimi nkreti. Ye do mo free bench ba so omo ntimi nkreti. Look, so why a competition here? Last time I was watching, I forgotten which game. And the commentator was telling me the statistics of the influence of players on free bench. I think it was a Spanish game because on the Mikel Moreno. So it's an example of the embodiment of players on free bench. Now positively game. England, majority of our games on my brain. Either you start with Rashford and Madueke, bring on Saka and Anthony Gordon, and after you play Anthony Gordon with Bako, then you bring them on and see clear what. But with what games against DR Congo near there, the substitutions in a bar, then they come and change the game. So what they call Portugal discussing now, almost starting in Yadia, almost free bench ban in Yadia. But individually, these are great players. I don't think I'm confidently able to say no, they suspect sabotage of Ronaldo. Because I didn't go everything that you say, coach in the players sabotage Ronaldo. Ronaldo Nanka say a problem. Everything you say will make sense because you just can't find what the problem is.
With all the stars they have.
Yes, great team they can achieve. So they disappointed their greatest player in their football history. The country, the other players have disappointed. Data may draw some conclusion and say Argentina at a point in time, minimum how they did it. But it seems that all the other players came together to say, we can't disappoint our greatest player.
Yeah.
And the Ameme was a mere, the Awube was so here. See a mana. On na what they can carry back and want ebefa. Look, World Cup Argentina, the other players played very well.
Yeah.
Look at McAllister in 2022. Yeah. Show me goalkeeper Martinez in 2022. Look at even players Mr. Otamendi in 2022. Look at the kind of football now Moboma Argentina. Look at Di Maria at the age.
Yeah.
Willing to die. Look at their players. See, they failed Ronaldo. Maybe many also say Ronaldo is the problem, but a situation where the players, the country, rather moment and fail their greatest player. Ronaldo are more one final of the World Cup. Why will you deny him that? You don't deny a great player. This is Ronaldo's opportunity. He is very, very unfortunate. I think say no Nyankopo born no so story the destiny no. But it's disappointment. Now, are you sure he will not come back? Because the way I would get to say the last World Cup.
Ronaldo is
the next one, they are part of the host nations.
So many Spain.
If they think they can create a slot for him, not for footballing reason, but for a animunyam reason.
Okay, to play
say
another World Cup.
Yes, he's part of the squad on your starter. But say a World Cup winner, you're part of the host nation. You want the whole country as a host, you're able to push it. Then let's give him a slot on the bench. Obama 5 minutes, that's an opportunity to win, for him to be part of the team, to lift it. Now Anthony Siviswa, they own him that, and probably say do or no effort to go. I
don't know. They will give you meaning there, but they do 44, maybe 44, almost 45. But I want
to put a bit my
of course, he looks 33. Yes. When he has a lot of energy, and the lifestyle here, one of the things he be also a lot of sports people will be assured. But one of the things he win the last 2 World Cups, he said, to win it, you need to beat France. To win the World Cup, you need to beat France. One of the things. Because the last time, Argentina had to beat France. Even with that, technically, they didn't beat them because it was a draw. Penalties on the year. France are a force in the World Cup. Well, let's place it on record. Sure, on the eve of the semi-final games, if you are semi-final, you
understand the discussion.
If you are discussion, I say, but team so because there's also a lot of commentaries a year ever. Carlos Queiroz the band said, "If dance it," but it was misinterpreted to mean resignation. And so said, and so I said, "Debut, me resign you, me that man of what's it, and I come answer me for World Cup now." Carlos Queiroz buying. In fact, Nukum Zayn was to Ghana boy against England. Said the
yeah,
because he started English team. We held them, were resolute. I've not seen Ghana defend so well like that. I call on the breaks, and he took the referee, and then the VAR for. I don't see here. And yes, sir, Ghana had a clean penalty.
Yeah.
Not referee, not offside instead. So, BBH is offside. And the good thing is that all the pundits in England, from Roy Keane to Gary Neville to, Rooney, Jimmy Carragher, Obiase, England were lucky. Say, any penalty in Tiom. In fact, half full, maybe half empty. In fact, they were not lucky. Ghana was robbed of that penalty because Kebenya one of the famous victories at Yetenyan World Cup games.
Yeah.
Carlos Queiroz, the modern move for Ghana.
Okay.
Encore now on time.
Okay. Is it Chamo? Say, Osha Ghana a history of the World Cup. The best World Cup we've played was in South Africa.
Yeah.
Who said Ghanaian?
In terms of the you drew here.
That's the best. How many matches now, boy?
I
think 5 games.
5 games. Set 3 games in the group. One in the round of 16, you bought quarterfinals. Till you see quarterfinals.
So 5 games.
In fact, you lose 2 games in that tournament, but we still
play 5 games.
5 games, yeah.
That is the best.
Yeah.
Ghana World Cup, you book games, do 5. We know the second best 4 games.
206.
You qualify from the group now. After you go free, you qualify from the group now. You go free. And this current World Cup you go is among your second best performer.
Yeah.
I go World Cup. You bought 4 games.
Yeah.
Now, say your best year 5. Now, before you go World Cup and go for say we are taking the weakest Ghana team ever. I go World Cup. Now your team go 4 games. I think say that is where the typical Ghanaian hypocrisy neighbor now.
Countries in Sudan also, don't forget.
No problem. That and I run 32 way. I want us to go up the number of games
we played.
Yes. Into whether countries in here 24, whether I caught 32. I'm talking about the number of games we play. And say World Cup I about 5 games. The best we've done was 4 games. About 3 and a half. You're free from the group stages. That's the way. Yeah, say we have one of the worst, not one, the worst ever they call World Cup. That's the team about 4 games. I am tempted to question some of the hypocrisies and say, no expectation say Blaster team will be far. Also no say now how do you have a low expectation? Go qualify from the group and turn back and say team na anyade. I'm struggling to understand the reason behind that.
Oh, I understand you. Say okay, Yamuna ni OGD ka say Ghana bring 7 points.
Who say no? Even when I met you, you say you be anime. So who was so disappointed? I will agree.
Yeah.
Because for you were saying say oh, you be yade. But for majority of Ghanaians, you see, we are sending the West team. Yeah, you be from Sisia. We qualify from the group. We play 1 game, we play 4 games, we come back. Then that same person say, yeah, I don't understand.
Based on baby, I hopefully Peter could do it. Now, if you do, baby, I will say,
so it means you got your analysis wrong or what?
Oh, of course. I'm sure that a lot of the people will agree that because you're US. Because say before the game, me no even feel like I catch you. England team say that. Yeah, in the back yeah, against that. Oh, but when you come for say that your poor girls you yeah. You but still I'm not feel so we could have done better from kakra you
see from the Carlos Cruz conversation. I think he has been one of the best coaches we've had with our Blasters.
Yeah.
Both public knowledge and privileged knowledge. He is one of the best. Now, Obia Wawa around the Blasters for a very, very long time. Ebe dia dance here, the kind of effects Carlos Corres had ever cut him. The professionalism, the standard, the pedigree, the respect.
Yeah.
And
the transformation.
Yes. And when we had the opportunity to listen to Atizigi, during the time of the interview now, he was asked about the coaching effect.
Yeah.
Look at the passion and all the casa.
Yeah.
And look at the choice of the West.
West, yeah.
During the World Cup, one of the backroom staff, Gaspar, was interviewed in the UK.
Dan Gaspar, yeah.
After the England game, then the journalist asked him, say, Ghana team, Australia 5. We will be say, about the same. All of a sudden, Ghana team draw with England in the fashion year. What that's what I can say. One thing they've realized, the reception of the players to the walk-in of Kures. I say, "Wura baby, now what the pedigree to have done something."
Yeah.
Now Ura the team that you are going to work with recognizes say, Ura na bawo, why ye be that or experience on the medumani ye, and to okay be chire ye ntie. And the moment he made that point, I made you to say, okay, then this is the coach that we are looking for. A coach that even the players admit, say, or what it takes to transform them.
Yeah.
Now, Chamo, you're quite World Cup. Say, what is missing from a lot of your post analysis? The injury took some key players, and because the performance they didn't. Am I really few?
Yeah.
Inti Jiku, Salisu, Kofichre, Kudus Munina, people are not mentioning them because we did well without them. It takes a good coach to do that.
Yeah.
It takes a good coach for you to forget about Jiku and say, Jonah Ajete is playing well. It takes a good coach for you to say Jerome Opoku.
No, when
who was a mere squad member. Just say, nobody even know be a company. Yes, how he merited.
Today, we can't play without him.
Exactly. That is the effect of the coach.
John there, Mr. Michel, maybe I'm going to charming.
Yes.
That's
you've
transformation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look, where you know when the form Sadio World Cup. He was one of the worst. Even your naming in the squad, people thought people had mixed feelings. But after he was a lover of Obiao.
Yeah.
And he a coach as him.
Yeah.
We can't Benjamin Asare Atizigi. Omumi you know Obia obede Mubia gave us a very good where Marvin said there.
Hey.
Look at Gideon Mensa.
Marvin said a revelation of the time.
Yes, look at Gideon. When we are movie.
Marvin Nintina Masim go to other men function. Timber catches here right back.
Nti
yani you are attacking the part for 3 hours for
Obia no mu changing ways.
No mu changing ways but no still. Na any Colombiano ofri man of Jasmine.
Asama to ye.
Because Kobe and do
because we are on never chair am ba.
But that boy also nya top team. I'm just praying for him.
Who's the engine no?
Yeah.
Tam say na will be a move no na also wako pranti and never hano. But what I'm trying to say is say Blasters they here is to change the subculture. Culture or this discipline about team obemo obi ati say aha obi ani dabre wa ha wo.
Yeah.
Obehwe team no strength no aka say me boys uti omo. Me obi am gidi pa say senke nya players nyina your defensive transitions no was okay. But your attacking ones no was problematic. Ebianka Kudus wo ha, Ebianka Kofichre wo ha, Ebianka other players they could have improved Sadio, and that will come with time.
Yeah.
Inti Carlos Queiroz has shown us something. Say Utis Kakot fa top coach bar. Obama top performance. Maybe I don't know for you guys as a bitch, but say if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys to work for you.
Of course.
On that is his principle. Say, oh yeah, there. Say why you try podcast. Look at the quality of the cameras. And to be share BKB show no, you know, actually the picture quality.
Exactly.
When they compare Obidia, you see 2x4 film, you know, they so no try and to compare pictures now. Now who do we want to say it is because there has been investment gone into it.
Yeah.
It is at the ABA if you want the best, invest into it. Now look, Carlos Queiroz on about team, and that is where the message now they better Argentina people wanted to misinterpret some part of it. No, me I knew certain changes on one kasa na deba team.
Okay.
And I thought said that was what he was talking about. Say it shouldn't come from Onunu coach, you know, it should come from the team.
Yeah.
So also your world standard team, and you also introduce Sadio. Number one, or the only nutritionist by or back company. And on one, but the nutritionist should be a common department of the team.
First Ghana player be a bobo we should the woman for any go.
But on what they need thereby
But coach John Primo
was making sure a Johnny also moody because he is an experienced tournament coach. Obeka to say, look, in between games, for recovery, you don't need to eat this. You need to eat that. And the nutritionist was telling the Ghanaian chef, say, Yabo game where you have 3 days to play the next game. The best way these players can recover is to give them more of this, less of that. I don't know what they buy. On one can in the papa. I know the scouts out the Panama team was a Serbian. On one the scout. On the first night, a couple of camp Carlos Queiroz had a scout. Serbians, Portuguese, Omudi the England. Even before we set out from Ghana, I knew. Said that he was following the Panama team, maybe on the Kobe or Obi anymore. No, the team, maybe come background or to one on the backpack, we want a church in the way, or because Montenano, Moody, did not, no, did no, Shamo, Bibia Muya, he's studying and he's sending reports. All these things were done by him. What I'm trying to say is, he brought a lot of high level standard to the national team. A majority of those courses were on one Kassan.
Wow.
Until when he raises that issue, and me sure and I was speaking to one person close to the FNM Busan about the situation. And on one Kassan kind of say, give one header, they will have to address in getting Carlos Queiroz to stay.
And say, all those things.
Okay, maybe a short term when I'm World Cup. No, I invested in these things.
Yeah.
But some person when you the money longer that then you have to offset those costs.
Exactly.
And it should be a mandatory standard. Nti mo sango phone nyina no apart from the 80,000 amucha me kana afi me titi bi ma own is me titi bi mo me de omo beka cost no na my budget na mo tie omo dia. That is what a competent coach brings to board. Nti he will have to deliberate on all those things. And Chabo, didn't we play to the best of your team no awarding? And he fa bi man na Ghana ebetimi akọ na World Cup no
baby I'm for a bit, I mean, you know, disappointed Kakra with Carlos Queiroz. Your last game against Colombia, they felt that Jordan, you should have been off the team. And tell me because I was starting and I was go free Muntem. People were questioning Brendan Thomas Asante, who was so influential in our first game.
Yes.
Then you know, EBCSU, PA, EBCSU, a whole number of focus. Oh, we the coach now.
Legitimate. May I show Carlos Queiroz? He's here to submit in a report. But if on one kasa any the backroom staff no do not admit certain mistakes.
I always say that Nipa we mistake go be ambassador be pardon omo coaches.
Yes.
Coaches one mistake and chance. Player ni nyam
say chance.
But coaches they are chance.
I want him to admit because me makasa same way for a long time. Players be say Jordan money dedemo. Chamo, omo problem is not with omo presence, no. Omo problem is with the boldness of coaches omo coach omo. To know the right time to substitute them. They have something to give the team, but there's a limit to what they can give. Under no circumstances, no competent coach, in my opinion. So why so from wild expertise, but in my opinion, Jordan shouldn't play any Ghanaian game beyond 55 minutes. Because after 55 minutes, what he gives the team is less. And football say, yeah, Bobby. Oh, brah, if you don't have stamina, you don't play anything.
Yeah.
But when you say Kim, there is nothing you can possible on the mark. So what will be passed on? Oh, it's a don't be an uncle for say, I didn't know no possible. Who say easy? What, brah? You come to me, Bob. But I have command the ball. Only energy now. The reason why everybody is mentioning Caribbean, look, he's a willing runner.
Yeah.
Look at Jude Bellingham.
Yeah.
He's able to do it because physically he is there. 120 minutes, he is running. Players, coaches play. Look at Declan Rice. Who is a fluke in Tina? Mikel Arteta on team mention. Why he gives the team? Nobody can give the team.
Yeah.
He's a willing runner. You need that in your team. So or Chelsea or what? Obi almost say wada yayem paso sa.
Is it 3 days?
Yes, or damn paso one team. Yeah, but give us some
yeah.
Because or to tune any share or more macaroni. No, how fit the Declan now, Obon any chance over Quamica, I am a quack or the quack with them. Unless I feel Cono who say, I want to know end to me, Susuno, or El Sabat, Monamino, I am red, and now because I want to me. It's Obia Pesa. But once Jordan gets to that limit, it also, you know, into Ushaya in a game against Panama, or Jordan in Tamka, around 65th minute, we went on to score. In our second game against England, my problem was that Argentina growing where he was getting more because once you are playing more games, you have one few days to recover. And there was a chance and I wanted to watch more. And now it's like 10 minutes. So every game, now it's like it's the first game of film 65. Second game issue also film 50. Third game maybe about 45 minutes. He's off. Now more can also sweat me about. Now there's one other thing. Maybe it will be missing from my discussion if you don't mention it now. Chamo unim say se utie nkomo from Hansadu Sape Oto Ado Kevin Prince Boatemeka omaye wo mu abochira mbebo blasters one wadie bia they come in and they say oh oba the cultural shocks ne assimilation into the team so it take time pa affect to performance washa Brendan Asante the videos are na free camp over anyhow odi no ho hye jama mu asa say no pa na bo anama anytime was onye opportunity after say team no fun nti Carlos Queiroz onyintum when Otis say obi ka say he needed to have made substitutions early any sign of normal and you attacking transitions, you know. Now there were some small problems. One show enough quality as a coach. Onyintum na on ka say okay, se menya kudu sumuna menya other players and going for me BM metaba nimna ebia metimi de Magida Shimeru muni omo maka no so me more opportunity na me show omo na omo ema me more of attacking instinct naturally. Ebia you be improve you me attacking him now. We need that balance, but as a coach there, you change to the chamo. We need some level of consistency.
We need to keep him. We need to keep him.
We need consistency. We
need to keep him.
It's hard to be
free home.
Yep, it's hard. Obi say why?
Oh, ni penny be o see John McQueen. On say at the end of the room, say ni penny be o coach the bar wa mantem. Tinese also mom war around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, coach ni say o see John the coach. Why no here? Why no here? Because you say Ghana, your hope is to win the AFCON. Yeah. We see the Biadotas for Jika. When as a young guy, he had to walk from Presec. A quarter to yes, a blaster team baby do no pattern. Now crew we are Obia Kujina. Tim Niba and I do 8 to 6. So you can just imagine. Then you go up and say, I won't try a cup. Oh, we want to see it.
Of course.
It I no need say your target ni mission or say the ba. Now go for the boy you know more crime. I wrote we did write up there. Obviously it's time for Ghana to move from the Ayu era. I mean Jordan no care about Jordan say over reliance on him. Now he can't give us as much as say you coach you need to expand your tentacles. Said he can. Me say me very especially very disappointed that Obite Salim Adams was not given opportunity at this World Cup because yes he locally but you between never could do more. Ah, naga go for football league you out over ba hey waiting man obo. Who was anything but coach me tenacity because when your time no need that luxury. Ebianka you found 6 months before the World Cup. I am sure Senka Bobby Magana board. Yeah. It didn't say he made a mistake. Oh, me mama dream with you on yeah, dream there. You also a mistake so my Jordan Butcher, near Thomas Brednasa. We need to run this up front. Because if any of back giving him. But well, he's a coach, he's a human being just like us. It's Yaman the opportunity, Yaman time kakra. Say the target should be why don't someone 2 years. The target should be the next AFCON. Say Ghana, young AFCON. Hey, Utuadu am young qualify for AFCON. But okay, there's no way there should be a tournament. Ghana and Cameroon. This is the African country be Angobi. But Ghana, a honor also here. Indeed, a idea also, but players and also a bit more the Jomo Ayala. You go on some time with the blast eye over. If our players been disappointed over this World Cup.
This World Cup disappointment. Someone me nyabio, unim de dia. My expectations in this role. Maybe to be honest with you, my expectations for this Ghana team.
Me can't say man, baby, me catch your class when you're 7.9.
Hey, now maybe expectations in this role. And see, me knew Obia on him in I agree. Say, Ebia me, some of me Kenya is born out of many expectation. So now with different one there. Now on him in I agree with you. But my expectations in this more.
But expectation is so quiet. You man getting kitty
players are disappointed.
Honestly, well, I'm sure a lot of people are disappointed by Elijah Usu Kakra because of Elisha Bamu. I say he was lost.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
I say do. I say we no win baby also Jinakra. I say. I live at a point now. Say you too no any deal one.
But Chamo, if you had paid particular attention to the form leading to the World Cup, so the last game a boy or Accra Sports Stadium, Oh, your qualifiers was against which team? Was it Comoros?
Comoros, yeah.
Incident we see, I mean, can we podcast to Kai baby and a mini poba. You quite Casper Stadium. You got in VIP right wing hall. And it's your. See, you got in Temkaka. Until your supporters in the mobile, and there were bare 2 or 3 brothers of Ali Sedu. And you could clearly see somebody in because somebody almost an original Jesse. To move for pitch inspection. See, now Ali Sedu, not ear patient assume, and almost friend. And I'm waving, oh, yet, opportunity. I trying to bush your phone, no, wavy or more. And here, 2 years so, you nearly say to bush your phone at Yanni starts imagine. Chamo, Nakwe, Shiano, she. And a moment to they didn't even consider saying any say to bush your phone at and I'm the poor Chabono, Chabono, bush your phone. As a mocko, and you say, don't go you cry to yet, and yet, he had a problem with the form. To be very, very honest, he had a problem with the form going into the tournament. And you know, not only be Mona, he was thrown into that high level game. You know, yes, you expect some kind of experience. You may be simple, but sometimes you can be overwhelmed by the occasion. You can pardon him, but no can say Wanyadi. We go here consider right after substitution, you know, and he cost us that game, you know, but. Yeah, the better now. ABI is one of those players we must consider. Say in the time at the Black Stars, you know, I was say right back has been a major issue for us going into the World Cup. And see, ABI Hono, who now becomes a formidable backup to Gideon Mensah, should also be something else here. Because our Gideon Mensah, if we were left back and so there seems to be a big problem. And no question am I consider Baba Rahman coming back now. It means you wait team ni muana. You said they knew be on tia so I was saying nearly a hono. I think so with the Jonah Jetene, Jorama Koyedi, said Jukumune Salisumo Baba Kai Hono
bro.
Exactly, any problem now. Thomas Partey obviously can give us 3-4 years at the top level. Why not everybody in place of him? We need to start looking for Duababeshem Ewo. Calibri and Chimu seems to be the new breed of your midfielders. As partners, we need to find them now. No, almost as you know, building and crowd more energy to run. Me, I was surprised when Kures in defending the World Cup squad. No, I catch a blasters management committee say player be say Suleiman and no Bokaglari. No, he went to watch him twice. He was not impressed. Sometimes coach's perspective is different from mine. But Suleiman for me had the energy and BBR. So Suleiman pane Yenchina or my say and come between. I thought they could have given coach in say twice in Italy physical match. Where who the all pay free and anything I want to work up in the no. Those things I think that should be part of the KPIs. See any continue. Say yes, we need that transition from them. And see, when now we introduce young guys in those positions, back up, build different combinations. I younger, you bet me that build for your future. I don't know, a team. At least you're able to say, oh, this is now an elite team. Maybe team competing on the continent and an opportunity to go for the next World Cup on by idea.
Well, one of the players I'm sure say, who disappointing coach the past year, Kamaldeen Suleiman. Because coach now so Gidi, I said no Gidi when you there are times with him about 10
about 10 baby.
Say also Gidi when you any pace but I don't know that boy I'm sure on so here be one-on-one coaching sessions we to coach Freddie no I'm also mean because clearly I told her me say ball no e da won dey ba ball na dwene ne dey ball na dey a wo person do wa dwene ye when ya ho ahoden dey
of course.
Because I told her, "Utimi piano no so na."
But they compare na.
No.
As a boy, he can play by 2 minutes on his own.
Yeah.
Now there's no teammate or 10 as the opposite or impona. Wakosa on any ball. That is a big.
Hard, but say the MC in Jatum say. I'm sure say a lot of people so near by only of course that's the beauty of democracy. I say in church say Carlos Queiroz, I think, said we should give him another opportunity. You're extending the contract and you're tasking with winning as the AFCON. Not just going to do well. So I say go and do well. And we think like a small nation. Or you think small. I mean, I was like, when you pay peanuts, you have monkeys working for you.
Yeah.
We are paying huge sums to someone. Then we tell the person that this is Ghana. Pay our history. You about AFCON 4. You about 2. You about final. 4 you about final. That's the kind of nation. But say you're tough on. We are finding a way to get back to our feet. So now our target is to win the AFCON. Now can you go and do well? I don't know coach small team mindset. Ebi na you buy Brighton coach be our coach everything. Chris Shooting. Small team mindset no be coach. Ya bobo na say obi born kra obi born here draw say we did well. As we coach Chad. Oh, we are Ghana. We need to act as such. E ho na de ba the we kra the sports minister. Ala me tell say why the sports minister should be the one giving update on last time injury you. Any and then say A plus, you A plus. I mean A plus or a member of parliament. Obabontin say your chairman say you don't World Cup. And you know on your uncle.
Okay.
Because of it, no okone na baby akopay ya command constituents. Minister Makasa government did not sponsor anybody who be a woman but the A plus kind of letters are approve each say. Because you to environment get nearby. Which means that Saturday can once him still na ekoso. And no need ticketing once some the say also the minister. If not the minister, quite the presidency should investigate because there's a scandal there. President can see 800 tickets. So I say 800 years and Kediumbeko. Now president saw hey amount a huge. They are going to spend over $11,000 on each person. Into what I say what we instructed the sports minister to make the tickets available to Ghanaians in the diaspora. And the queer they back him say, "Ebia, means me speaking for you for I can speak for more US." And I let you they don't want it free. Some go for US you don't hear Juma. Others hear Juma. The moment no say anything free, but sell to them at the right price. Ticket price and what? No people to ticket that face value is $60, not on 600. Definitely, I'm not for me agitated. And on the count, I'm a backlash about after Ghana. Yentimian qualify. The ministry should work on this. But generally, I mean, I mean, you want something in Agranka. The sports minister only didn't try to. Kofi Adams. Only saying, we need a new minister.
One thing various governments are failing is to appoint the right sports minister. And yet, because honorable Kofi D, even the previous ones, one ministry, we need to go beyond politics and appoint a technocrat, a technical kakra.
Yeah.
Because Chamu, Mikra service biamiti, sir, me share the reforms I hear were exposed more. And the kind of policy document, and by this time, it was a ministry a day back to change the whole governance phase of your sports now. Now, we share the way ministers in the conduct your mona. I quite said there, would the mountain can see another to see them so on from. They seem to be lost in what really the problem next year. Sports, you know. And more issues, no. As soon as we share a movie, so we share a movie, pan no more say no, and no money also. But there seems to be measuring the minus. I say, yeah, call World Cup, yeah, ball, and that is the list of the sports. We need big policies, big ones. Yeah, anytime. Let me give you one example, then I will conclude on this minister. And yet, I'm a commissioner and say the national teams states in India.
Yeah.
So if it is established, say all national team belongs to the state. Who should run the national teams? The state should run. The national teams to be run by one or the other. And see, the administration of the national teams, the structure must be born out of the states.
Yeah.
Una the near or the other. Catch them and say. A free necro, there's a national team board from Wuabai. Because I didn't want to Japadi.
Yeah.
International team board may pay 7 members on the board, 2 from corporate, 2 from ministry, 2 from GFA, 2 from PFAG, something like that. Then tell them to bring their rep.
Yeah.
Then you put them there. You are running the national team, not because they own property.
Yeah.
They have their rep there. Then the board will everything the secretariat now that will be running the national team no management as a day by day no. Asema Besame Kenyan say the national team administration must be done by the government because una the yeah. So that say FA presidents, you know, and because of their political system, you know, they can't do away with management committee because Oba and also there are people who have worked to bring you into power, and you need to reward them with those management system. Now, that one you leave it to their politics, and you take charge of the running of the national team because it is your property. This is how the minister should be thinking. Oh, and yes, I say. And no man can no more focus you. But if they miss some of us, these are the things we are going to tell them. Form the national team board. Who minister form it. All national teams comes under that board. Omo will form the secretariat, appoint people. They will run the national teams in consultation with the FA. And don't the will be able to national team. Yeah. Those are the significant things that we need. But even with this proposal, does it give you the impression that Honorable Idi have the capacity to think like the somebody maker and do it? No. Or buy an on trash. And he's all over the place. Me won't be that. He's becoming too common. Near friend or Tikemo. Oh, US, near friend or cancer friend with TV3. And you are willing to grant an interview, minister. I will take care of my baby. And do you owe someone communication? And my sister, Semenona, and 1 year back you minister, and our team news. What kind of standard me? Honorable, yes, will be in power. But these things, all the ministry know about from the big thing that you need to take care of, you are not taking care of.
Policy directions.
You are well traveled. You are in Ivory Coast for the AFCON. Young qualifying Morocco to me, so wanko. And so the last 2 tournament was the AFCON and this World Cup. Look at the pitch that they were playing on. Now during that time they World Cup, no. Look at the worrying images of free bye. Chamo enim 2026. Yet to form a grow grass. Where people do it in lab and come and lay it. That is why we've got into 3D pitches. You come and lay it. Look, Yambofanka, Monka the Cruncher minister. No. Say, and they said, you know, Diamamono. Professor Chuma, sit time and the Gunusono. And no time, the problem is the same. We need to lay 3D pitches. Ye to 2 near Diano, a chum. Moma Yesika, World Cup Sikaba, bear 12 million. Your national stadium bear 4. Emu 2 I prepare for national team assignment Kumasi Accra. Mama Sikana about 12, Mama 5 million. Young got 3D pitches near Mele or Baba Sports Stadium. You should be making those demands. You should be seen on radio, on TV, making this big pronouncement to the minister. But so you say, political appointment, and I will not make the huge demands. Now, get and I see a pescam and go for 2 grass. I could be there. Send him out $10,000. I will there. But you need 2 million to go and buy 2 million. Say it. Come on, be wow. So and that is where we've come to. And to maybe we are not appointing the right people as Amy because the problem they don't even understand the problems are or they don't understand. Well, they are just there and say tournament bar, some bar. Oh, now say now
you don't even say. Now say one of my uncle for me a lecturer so university is even on sale. For instance, KUST, former VC, Professor Obidanso. See, we need a meeting. Maybe a meeting or bar. Wow, go meeting. Also prepare. Often in the field. We are on the science. Wow, young research. No, baby, some question down to what you want to do. Wow, I want to come to say, sir. What did you say? I mean, what did you say? The incontinence say. To know you say, oh, you minister. Say, Federation be bow. On bas, can on bepe. On baby is can on bepe. You ask questions. What is the plan for this? What is the nothing? After next time about they know that hey, I will come on one young conanim.
Sure.
Ubin can send you monyak and your uncle.
No.
Be nice. Oh, your penny. But also mobile when you move.
Yes.
Say, hey, Minister Binya, Simia, the corner. Let's say, Anya Shekran. A man, if if there is a Black Stars team, they call World Cup in a year. Minister, I also catch up. So now representing the interest of the people. All the people say, so you people, Mama had the Ghana, a discussion, local league. You know one grab above the goalkeeper. Mempre. No, I thought also you difficult, kakra. Just to ensure that interest now open here. And then Nana make the last year, Mayana make us. It's actually John Dramani Mahama. The good thing about the president is that I know say he follows a lot of things that goes on social media. The man also very vibrant on social media, so they see and they tell him what I say. One of the things in your presidency, first time you go and you must say Black Stars. How Ghana could go when we have to carry money and all that.
Yeah.
And when they take commission the buy, I didn't know about board. Commission address you.
Okay.
Commission they say since Ghana buying and Ghana for the national team Yomodiana. Young Public Interest Committee. And a commission suggested say a buying for 2 every 4 for 3. Then you 5 people. Now every nipa chairman now buying nipa back on your vice. You the government want to government say Debbie. I bind the nipa 3, every the nipa 2. I bind nipa ne chairman. Na every nipa na vice. Then, the source say you are unsatisfied. Then I gonna buy for one city ko anko in Black Star movie. Yeah, you, but we are still spending money into it. They say so public interest near they are so man so you sports minister, you best so. Every other ministries, important. Maybe I'm going to sports no deal, sports and equally important as education, as health, and it's money because I did team again and go into a mood of frenzy. I did team again and and the amount of money you are pumping into some of these infrastructure near year basabasa near year sana koye you're going to innovation that stadium is still a meeting standard.
Oh, so what people as what say
what you say na renovation no then I give me bomb to me yet renovation go ni stadium no FIFA for the car for the bomb say there be a bench no as obi stands ma unhu line so and a concert for 2 form any the bench here your innovation here be kata so na the bench na be so FIFA for by say enya approved because at the end of we are not getting involved. The people who have the technical know-how. You have a club license for FE. Who people who are involved in building the stadium? You phobia because you're politics. You're the contract come away. The contract come away. We need ministers who understand the game, who understand that sports. No, 7 predecessor. And yes, I can say last time go. It goes beyond that. And only idea here. Well, go on, you because watching now because what can be any coach no. Say only 2 more years and I am for Mano. Anyone says that those discussions will continuously go on. But the TN say, oh, you're a Black Star player, oh, go World Cup Libya. They say, work on yourself, work hard because now the target is to win the next AFCON. And let's not forget, the next AFCON, Morocco will be there, Senegal will be there, Nigeria, all the teams, even Cape Verde, Capo Verde, so it means that we all have to work hard. As an FA, you have to work hard. There are my say if favoritism, this animal when you boni ma, you be koye nim. Near you near bo. Ghana in fact Ghana did one. The last time Ghana won the AFCON was in 1982. 82. There are a lot of people more happy to see me do Ghana nyango. Obi also have na ketekete. Nyam mu na ketekete. You get my point. We would love to see Ghana celebrate. Said the Senegal for Tigu Mountain so. Said the Ivory Coast. Winning. Said I want to see that thing. The work starts now from the FA, from the technical team, from the players, from us the media. We have a part to play. And I always say, yes, and Trofon, and from my Bibia. So the BKB show say there. Said the name say they will time more. Now, now I mean, said yet, you know, announcement. Okay, definitely the announcement will be back in the coming days. But the truth of the matter, anybody can't come once and say, I'm no more with Pure FM. As I say, I mean, the next episode I'll announce my new radio station and the new frequency and when we will be coming on air and all that. Then when you a perfect picture of how things will be. Let me go see show, yeah, the BKB show this year.